Hi, thank you for joining us today. I hope everyone had a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. We welcome you to Duo Security and FEITIAN Technologies joint webinar. I'm Louise Hauser, Channel and Partnerships Manager from FEITIAN Technologies US, and I will be your moderator for today's event. Today, Duo and FEITIAN Technologies will jointly discuss how we work together to provide flexible and strong authentication options for organizations of all sizes. Just a few things to keep in mind before we begin. We appreciate your thoughts and feedback about this webinar, so rate us on how we did at the end of the presentation using the star button below your presenter screen. We also want this webinar to be interactive, so questions are very welcome. If you do have questions or you want some clarifications about a specific topic that we have previously discussed, please type it in at the questions tab below the presenter screen player, and we will answer them towards the end. Today's main speakers are Ginger Leishman, Technology Partner Manager from Duo Security, now a part of Cisco, and Gautam Vij, Chief Revenue Officer from FEITIAN Technologies US. Later in the presentation as well, we will be joined by Calvin Vo, Marketing Manager from FEITIAN Technologies, who will explain the logistics and distribution of FEITIAN keys globally. In this webinar, you will learn about threats, breaches, and vulnerabilities of the new norm, Cisco's Zero Trust approach, how Duo brings Zero Trust to the workforce, Duo support for FEITIAN security keys, Duo and FEITIAN demo, logistics and distribution of FEITIAN keys globally, the Duo 1-month free trial, the FEITIAN sample giveaways and portal for Duo customers, and towards the end, we are going to have our live Q&A. So let's begin. Ginger, please take it away.
Thank you, Louise, and welcome everyone for joining us today. As Louise mentioned, I'm Ginger Leishman. I'm part of the Duo Technology Partnership team at Duo Security, which is now part of Cisco. And I have the pleasure of working with FEITIAN, and we're here today to share how an organization can implement a Zero Trust framework with Duo and provide strong, flexible authentication options for their users with Duo and FEITIAN together. So to start off, I'd like to just talk about the shift in the IT landscape that I know we're all very aware of. This digital transformation that organizations have been undergoing has been going on for more than a decade, and it's been accelerated by the pandemic. We're in a world of cloud applications, mobile devices, remote employees. The traditional network security, it doesn't cut it. And there are new realities of working in a modern workplace that need to be addressed when we're thinking about security and the new modern perimeter. Number one is employees are remote. You have vendors, you have contractors, you have third parties accessing your network. They're using personal devices. They're using their smartphones, tablets, and other devices to commonly connect to your applications and networks. Meanwhile, applications, servers, containers, and other workloads can be found communicating to each other across both cloud infrastructure like AWS and Azure and your data centers. And then increasingly, we're seeing more smart devices, also known as Internet of Things or IoT, and these devices have created another entry point of access to networks. And then, of course, as the perimeter changes and the landscape changes, threats also change. You can see here some of the top threats that organizations encounter right now. The top one that we're really going to look at is identity. So the threat of users and devices. Since 81% of breaches involve compromised credentials, showing that passwords are an ineffective way to get past traditional perimeter defenses and get access to applications undetected.
Ginger? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I think we are not seeing the slide.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there...
It's okay.
Should I pause?
You can stop screen sharing and then there. So can you hit, yeah, you can hit play.
Do you see it now?
Yes, I see it now. Perfect. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. So,
go ahead.
No, thank you. Sorry for that, for any slides that were missed. I just kind of wanted to establish now that with the shift in the IT landscape, we're moving to a zero trust approach. And what's different in a zero trust approach versus our traditional approach? Top differences here is that when you compare a traditional security approach to the zero trust, you'll find that in the old approach, trust is based solely on the network location the access request originates from, such as maybe from a VPN, maybe from your internal when they're in the office, from your internal network. Whereas now in the zero trust approach, trust is more dynamic and it's adaptive. It's established for every access request, no matter where it comes from. And this approach prevents attackers from moving laterally within your network to get to your data. It secures access across your apps and networks and only allows the right users and devices to get access. In addition, you also have better access security with the zero trust approach since it also supports modern enterprise models such as bringing your own personal devices or BYOD, cloud apps, hybrid infrastructures with cloud and on-premise. So it's much more flexible and addresses the needs that organizations are finding that they're encountering today to provide secure remote or secure access for their users. I'd just like to do a check. Are you able to see my next slide?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Cisco, since Duo Security is now part of Cisco, we'd also like to share with you that Cisco has been named a leader in Zero Trust by Forrester for the last 2 years. And Cisco, or Duo, is a key part of Cisco's overall Zero Trust platform. And I'll just highlight here how Cisco views Zero Trust, or what their Zero Trust strategy is. And you can see from the slide, it's broken into 3 key areas, from securing your workforce to your workload and your workplace. Cisco Zero Trust allows you to consistently enforce policy-based controls while gaining visibility into users, devices, components, and more across your entire environment. Duo is powering the first pillar of Cisco's Zero Trust approach, which is securing the workforce, and that starts with ensuring only the right users and secure devices can access your applications. So Duo's focus is identifying the user, identifying the device, checking the security posture of that device, and then also getting into access policies. The new network perimeter is wherever an access decision happens, and Duo protects this new perimeter by going through those steps of verifying the user, establishing that user trust. So are they who they say they are? And we do that by using our best-in-class adaptive multi-factor authentication solution. IT administrators find that also benefit from using Duo, and that we have a very easy-to-use product which delivers a one-view, we call it a single pane of glass, the admin panel where they can manage users, set access policies, and ultimately get granular visibility into which user is using what device to gain access to which application. So the first step of all of that is with a strong multi-factor authentication, which I think we're all very familiar with MFA, something you know, something you have, or something you are. Duo is very easy to set up. Users can actually self-enroll, which takes a lot of headache off of administrators. And they can authenticate quickly using either our Duo push notification or other MFA options, because we do support the broadest range of MFA options, such as I mentioned, our push notification, support for U2F security keys, SMS, passcodes, biometrics, and more. Duo prompts the user once they log in with their primary authentication. We're going to prompt them with secondary authentication, which will be something they have. Again, our push notification on their smartphone, or maybe they're tapping a U2F security key that FEITIAN provides. And this prevents identity-based attacks, supports attackers using stolen or compromised passwords, and we provide zero trust access for applications while creating less resilience on passwords, or less reliance on passwords alone. And I think I'll just touch on here that using MFA or having MFA in your environment is the security best practice guide, and regulation typically does ask for MFA and device visibility. Duo can help organizations make components of compliance and regulatory requirements with a secure, easy-to-use platform that provides the foundation for a zero trust security approach for your workforce. And these are the top, or some of the most popular, I guess, maybe I should say popular, regulatory guidelines that we can help organizations meet or be compliant with. In addition, we are also FedRAMP certified, and we do have special editions of Duo specific for the federal audience. So now that you've established the user's identity, the next step is that we like to now take a look at the device. You can't protect what you can't see. Getting visibility into devices and establishing device trust is an essential aspect of a strong zero-trust strategy. Compromised devices can access your data, and attackers exploit known vulnerabilities. And I think that this was a pretty interesting statistic that 99% of vulnerabilities exploited will be ones known by your security team for at least a year. And the best way to protect your users from using outdated devices, from accessing your data, is to ensure that they're updating those devices, that they have screen lock enabled, they have a firewall enabled, other pieces of the security posture. And I'm going to show you here the information that Duo gathers. So we gather this information from the mobile device when they have the Duo app installed, and then we also have an application that can be installed on laptops and desktops. And so here we're checking continuously every time an access request is made. Again, we're checking the identity of the user and establishing that. But then these are all the aspects of the devices that we're checking. Again, is the OS updated? Are they using any plugins that maybe have known vulnerabilities like Flash and Java? And then administrators can get a look at the devices that are accessing their network and start to make decisions based on who should be accessing these applications and who shouldn't if their device is outdated. And I thought it might be nice to just get a little look here at the Duo admin panel or a dashboard, so you can see how easily we surface this information, so that you can so the IT admin can digest this information. You can create reports and set access policies based on all the information we're giving you about the user and their devices. So then the last piece of that puzzle, now that we've established identity, we know the security posture of the device, now we move into protecting every application. Duo gives you adaptive policies and controls to make access decisions, again, based on the user, the device, and the application every time they make a request. You can implement requirements for access based on the sensitivity of the resources and the known security state of the device to help manage risk levels appropriately. These policies can range from maybe allowing only corporate managed devices to accessing sensitive applications such as maybe PeopleSoft, to requiring certain versions of patched software and encryption or step-up authentication based on the user behavior. And with Duo's adaptive policies, security administrators can enforce adaptive policies again based on the roles, location, or network type. So for example, you can decide that I'm Ginger, I'm working remote right now, and I'm using my personal laptop. Therefore, when I make an access request, I'm going to be denied when I try to access, let's just say, PeopleSoft or Workday to make a change to my W-2. I'll be denied unless I am on a corporate device. We make it easy to protect all of the applications in your environment. We have pre-built integrations out of the box with hundreds of applications, or if you need to build an integration with Duo, you can easily do so, as we support over a dozen different ways to integrate with Duo. We are easy, we're cloud-based, we're developer-friendly, we have RESTful APIs, we support, you can see here, we have our Web SDK, we support Radius, SAML, OIDC, even LDAP. So there's a myriad of ways that you can create an integration with Duo. We have great technical documentation, knowledge base, and active community forums to assist, along with technical support. And I'd just like to share a quick customer story here. The Ohio State University, when they went live with Duo, they put Duo in front of their HR self-service portal, and within less than a month, 32,000 employees were enrolled with Duo. The CISO said Duo has been one of the most successful projects in IT history at the Ohio State. So I just kind of want to, again, just let you know that not only do we have integrations that any IT administrator can quickly implement using Duo with any of these existing products, but you can also build an integration between Duo and whatever other products you're using in your environment. So Duo's approach to zero trust security, to kind of wrap that up here again, is we're verifying the user, we're establishing device trust, we're enforcing adaptive policies, and we're securing access for every user to every application. It's a trust-based access policy, or it's trust-based access. And when you think about it, the evolution of the zero trust philosophy was born from the need to think past the firewall and expand the perimeter to anywhere to ensure protection from stolen or lost credentials and to protect access to all applications for any user and device. Going back to one of the stats that I showed at the beginning, when 81% of breaches target identity through phishing and spear phishing of compromised credentials, establishing user trust eliminates an incident before it happens. And multi-factor authentication is the first step to implementing a zero trust framework. Duo and FEITIAN, we work together to provide flexible authentication options for every organization. And now I'd like to turn it over to Gotham from FEITIAN to share how they provide strong authentication and protect a remote workforce.
Thank you, Ginger.
Thank you
That
very
was
much.
wonderful. Yes. So while Luis is loading up the slides, I just wanted to take the opportunity, Ginger, to thank you on behalf of FEITIAN. You know, you're very kind to come on our channel and help us present together, to help us spread the awareness of MFA, the importance of MFA, which we'll cover some of the details, some of the data that we have on our slides. You know, how important MFA is and why MFA, the return on investment on an MFA solution is just fantastic. But with more than anything else, we are honored on the Duo partnership. You know, we don't take this lightly. And we'll work very seriously to keep building on this partnership. We already have a lot of joint customer wins, but going forward, we see this business together, this partnership to be even stronger than ever before, because our goals are similar, our visions are similar, which is to make this world a safer place, a better place. So we are honored again, and thank you for being here. So with that, let's start our part of the presentation. It should not be very long. So, FEITIAN, I want to quickly introduce FEITIAN. We have an array of products that we are very proud of in terms of our existing product portfolio, in terms of our innovation on new cutting-edge products, and we'll share some of those. Some of these are 3 to 5 years ahead of our competitors, and we are very honored that we take that leap, and we always are pushing ourselves to go to the next level, and we're experimenting on multiple fronts. How do we bring more innovation around hardware, security keys, security tokens, and different form factors. So let's go into that. Okay, Luis, let's go to the next one. So I want to briefly touch upon passwords, right? And the goal of this slide is not to talk about the technical aspect, right? We are all technocrats. We all understand technology really well and deep. But I really want to touch upon the essence of why do we hate passwords so much, right? Passwords have been around for centuries. From the time of kings and queens, there were passwords and symmetric codes and all of that. Now we have been doing that and it's been working fine. But why is it now that we are looking at this so seriously? Why is the industry overall trying to see what's happening with them, and why do we feel that it is the worst possible solution, and why is FEITIAN and Duo together in a sense on a mission to eradicate passwords? And so we're going to cover that, right? Okay, Luis, next slide. So what I want to share here is very simple. On the left, you see, Max has a password, 123. It's easy enough to remember. On the right, you obviously see a much more complex password, which is what a machine would, what would comply to a security posture, which is a good password. But the problem is the password on the left is easy to remember, but it's also easy to crack, right? And the password on the right is hard to crack. That's the right password. Long password, a lot of complex characters, but it's hard to remember. And, trust me, I've been in the security space for 20 years, and I started my career writing, this for Oracle Identity Management, for writing the password manager solution for that. So I know this pretty well that technology is one thing, but the human essence has not changed in the last 20 years, last 200 years. Our brains can only take so much. So if you go to the next slide, what I want to share with you is that, no matter how complex the passwords might become or how strong the IT admin might, say, okay, change your password every 90 days, and now it comes to 60 days, and now it comes to 30 days, and, all kinds of things, our brain can only take so much, right? So think of the grandmoms, the grandpops, right, the grandchildren, right, the teenagers, or even the busy working professionals. It's very hard to remember different complex passwords, especially when you have multiple assets. You have multiple websites, multiple assets, multiple, your systems you have to log into, and every one of them has different requirements for passwords. How do you remember all of that? It's almost impossible. And you can see that in this slide is evident that identity attacks threaten organizations every day. And the reason is, if you look at 300 million daily fraudulent attacks are happening continuously. And the number is probably going up because the brute force is increasing. The hackers are getting more sophisticated. Now, because of COVID, more and more people are remote, so more people are logging in through their passwords, and these hackers are trying to compromise the weakest link. And now, if you think of these hackers, I mean, if you look at again the personal human side of these hackers, these are people who have probably kids, right? Have families. They have to put food on the table, right? So we always think of hackers as that person with that black mask and all that. But if you think about it, they're actually people all over the world that are trying to just find a way to hack in and get some money, or try and make them, ends meet or whatever it is. Or it could be sophisticated governments trying to break in. Who knows? But we know one thing, that these numbers are not lying. 300 million attacks on an everyday basis. 4,000 ransomware attacks. That might seem like a tiny number when we look at statistics. But what woke me up was when I joined FEITIAN, some of the calls from our customers. These were people that were nervous. These were people that said, a hacker has taken my account, is asking for $500,000 for me to release my information, otherwise I'm toast. And this person ran a small, medium business, and his business is locked till that person actually gives the money. Just put yourself in those shoes and imagine if you get a call from a hacker and he's saying, give me $500,000, otherwise I've taken all the information. That's the kind of level of that 4,000, what that means on a daily basis. 4,000 people are being impacted, and again, that number is going up. And again, you see a lot of these malware attacks. There are different ways, different threat vectors of how these hackers are trying to break into the organization. But one thing is for sure, they're not wasting their time trying to break into a firewall. They're not trying to, decrypt, corporate systems. That takes a lot of time and energy. They're just trying to find the easiest way to get their job done, to put food on the table, which is break a password of a granddad who has a lot of money in the bank, right? Or something like that. It's easy targets, and passwords are the easiest targets possible. So that gives you a foundation of why, we're trying to solve this. Next slide. So then, it's clear. Most of the hacks that happen today, most of the breaches are weak passwords, right? Easy to do, the weakest link. 81% of the breaches happen because of credential theft, right? 300 million attacks every day. 81% of those are evidently the breaches that are happening because of that bad password, bad credential. The next number, 73%. What that basically means is, out of every 10 passwords that you might have, 7 of them are duplicate, which if you look at the next number, 50% of employees are using, digital assets, whether those are websites or applications that are not approved by the IT or by the enterprise. If you put all those numbers together, what that means is that if a normal user, could be an enterprise user, could be a professional, for every 10 websites that they visit, they are rinsing and repeating 7 other passwords. And if you double click on that, what that means is they are probably using, there's 70% chances that they're using the same password on a weak website, could be a social media, could be some other website, which is not hardened, which is, potentially hackable, and they're using the same passwords on their corporate applications. And so there's a very easy way for the hacker to break in to those easy websites, steal your passwords, and they know they have a 70% success of using the same password on a corporate network. And that is where the problem is. Passwords stink. They are the worst form of protection. It's hard to remember. We try to duplicate the passwords. It's evident, and that is a problem because we're using the same passwords on multiple different assets. So it's time to change the game. And we want to show you how we're doing that. at least our approach of how we're doing that. Next slide. Now, like I said before, the solution is so easy that it's a no-brainer. 99.9% of the attacks can be blocked with an MFA solution. And what we provide to the equation is the hardware aspect of MFA, which we believe is the most secure form factor. And the reason is, again, we'll cover more details, but the reason is because a hardware form factor, a hardware security token, security key, is a disconnected device. So when it's disconnected, a hacker has no way to break in because it doesn't connect to the network, right? There is almost no way. Plus, it has a PKI-based solution, and we'll cover that as well. So what you see on this slide is low security and high security are the two metrics, the y-axis of this equation, and the x-axis you see convenience versus inconvenience. Password obviously is low security. You have to remember the password and all of that. What you see on the left, top left, is the password plus MFA. Yes, it is more secure because you have MFA added. It's a second factor. But also remember, now you're adding more inconvenience, right? So if your employees have to not only enter their passwords, but now need to enter a key, they need to enter a PIN, all of that, yes, it's more secure for sure, but it's also more inconvenient. Our solution, what we propose, what we are trying to evangelize, is the passwordless authentication, which is both secure and is very convenient. Next slide. And that is based on the FIDO2 protocol. So what FIDO2 provides is a cryptographic login, which is based on PKI, based on asymmetric key pair, which is the public key infrastructure, which has been around for a pretty long time now. It's a 2 to 3 decades. You know, it's been maturing for that many number of years. So it's a pretty robust technology, has not been broken into, and it's been improvised. So we're using that technology, FIDO2, which is fast identity online. And you know, you can use the FIDO2 technology to be able to log into any number of websites. And every website will have a unique FIDO token, if you may, right? And these are stored on external security key, like I said before, which are disconnected devices. So if you look at all of this together, number one, you're using a PKI technology, which is extremely secure. Compared to password, there is absolutely no discussion. This is like the most secure technology. Number two, you're using unique FIDO2 credentials. So it's not the 7 out of 10 passwords being the same. It's 100% different passwords for different websites. And number three, it's on a disconnected security device, meaning even if somebody got your FIDO, they have no way to, even if somebody wanted to break in, there was no way because it is a disconnected device. And now the next question would be, hey, what if somebody got my device, got a hold of my device? We're going to cover in the next slide where we add the biometric into this equation. So next slide. First, before we move on to that one, I want to just say there are obviously devices where you have your FIDO keys and you have your PIN, which is what we call the FIDO U2F. But we view the PIN as a kind of a password, because if you can brute force into a password, you can brute force into a PIN, right? If you put in enough compute power, you can guess numbers and break in. So it is definitely extremely secure, but we have a better solution. So if you go to the next slide. What we really call true passwordless is your biometric, right? Your fingerprint is something that is not a number, is not a character, nobody can guess, it's not a dog's name, it's not a pet's name, it's not a grandchild's name, and we believe that is the most secure because it is not what you provide to them, it is who you are. It's your fingerprint. It is unique in the world. It is used, in olden days, fingerprint was used as a unique identifier, and we believe that is what it is. Added to the FIDO is the most unique. So if you add these together, the biometric fingerprint is stored on the card. It is stored in the secure element, which is CCEAL, 6th level secure element, which basically means not only is the device disconnected, but if you lose the device, if you drop it and somebody picks it up and they try to break into it, if they happen to be a hacker or they sell it and somebody tries to break into it, it's almost impossible because the fingerprint is stored in the secure element. And number two, the fingerprint data is not stored on a cloud or a server. Unlike other solutions where the fingerprint is in a cloud, all these millions of fingerprints stored by a bank or by an enterprise, if somebody breaks into that secret server, then all the fingerprints are gone. No, in this case, your security device has a fingerprint. So you have your own fingerprint. And when you do a match, the matching is happening on your device locally, not on the internet, not in the cloud, locally. And that device is disconnected 99.9% of the time. So do you see why it's the most extremely most secure solution in the world? When coupled with PKI, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. And when you look at the cost of these solutions, you would pretty much jump onto this because, you know, these start like $20 or whatever. And this can like save millions of dollars of your enterprise. All right, so next slide. And I'm sure you can see the passion and enthusiasm that comes through because there are so many people that still are not aware. You'd be shocked that there are so many big banks and so many enterprises that are still using SMS-based verification when it's been proven that SMS can be hacked into very easily, right? And that's why we are on real passionate, you know, mission to eradicate passwords, to bring this to the world, to make people aware that if you look at the price point, I mean, there should be no debate or no question that this is the solution, and people should be jumping on this and protecting themselves right away before a ransomware happens to them and opens their eyes, right? So real quick, you know, last slide. Pretty much what we have is you see some of the biometric, you know, FIDO2 products. On the left, you see the USB products. In the middle, you see the products that have based on Bluetooth and NFC. The middle two have batteries in them. The difference between the black one and the white one, what we call the all-in-one fast FIDO2, is the different size. The one on the right is you know, designed to include a picture of an employee, and we're trying to position that what we call a converged access, meaning you can do digital access using the biometric and the FIDO, but you can also include physical access for an enterprise if they want it to be like an employee badge, to be like scanned on a door opener and stuff like that. So that is what it is designed for. And the one on the right is extremely popular and getting a lot of traction, what we call the fingerprint card. It is like a credit card and has all of the same things. You know, all of them have chips. And if you move to the next slide, what I want to explain is that each of these products can be programmed, and that is where our innovation comes in. That's where we are, you know, not only far ahead from a competition in terms of the form factors, in the biometric and the other innovation like fingerprint card, but we launched a new program called MYOD, which allows a customer or a partner to be able to program these devices. So we provide the entire process, the certification, the machines, and all of that, because we view our products as really platforms. Right? Think of your like iPhone or your Android phone. I mean, those are phones, those are platforms, and you can download apps. Same way our keys and cards and other devices are really platforms where you can use the Java OS-based platform to download your own applets, right? And we provide applets like the FIDO2 applet, the FIDO-U2 app, we provide PKI, OTP. And so if a customer comes in and says, well, we would like OTP and FIDO2, we can on the fly program these for them. And it can be done in their facility, right? So they can check the code, they can say, well, we want this, you know, we want to do our own penetration testing, and then we want to program them. We are able to do that. So not only are we allowed you to, you know, enable you to design your products, but we allow you to customize the products, program the products, reprogram the products. So in a year or two, if a new FIDO comes in or a new form of PKI comes in, you can reprogram these keys, thereby increasing the longevity of the product and the flexibility of the products. So no, there's a lot of innovation around it. One more aspect to this is third-party developers. So we envision third-party developers coming in, writing their own, you know, Java-based applets, you know, around PKI, around FIDO, around other security aspects. You know, could be proprietary stuff that they're writing, and we will allow them to be able to load this, you know, as long as their clients need that and they trust them on that. But we allow this aspect, and what we proudly call MYOD. And some very large enterprises have called this like a brilliant strategy, and they're very impressed. And we are looking at pushing this forward more and training our partners and our customers. And we're already doing pilot projects with our, some of our pretty big customers on this as well. All right. Next slide. All right, and these are some of the other products which you know, are not necessarily biometric. You know, one thing I want to touch upon is you know, some of the products that you see are form factors that were designed based on customer requirements. Like the K25 that you see is the oval one. You would have also seen Google Titan look very similar because, you know, we partner with them, so that they use our products. But, you know, many of others are designed based on customer requirements, and we, you know, pride ourselves in terms of being a design center. You know, you don't have to choose the products that we have. you can come up with your own design, and we have done that multiple times. That's a core competency, a core differentiator. We allow you to customize and create your own products and be able to program them with the MYOD. All right, next slide. So, like I said before, we are very fortunate and honored that Duo is a partner. We have been a loyal partner with Duo. We have multiple wins with Duo, in multiple verticals. Universities being one of our biggest verticals, and we are very proud and very confident about this strong relationship. And we will, keep putting our best foot forward with Duo to keep them happy, keep them impressed, and keep innovating on new products and technology. We are also very proud to be a Microsoft Visa member. I already mentioned Google Titan partnership. We are also a Semantic VIP exclusive partner. So all the tokens that you see on the Semantic VIP are basically our products. We are partners on the Infineon and NXP on the chip side. We are also a Visa partner on the certification side. And we have many more partnerships, but these are key ones that I wanted to highlight. And these companies have, put trust in us, and there are many more partnerships that we're working on. So with that, I also wanted to share the shipping and logistics, which is again a core competency of ours. And I know it's very important for many customers that are looking for this kind of information. They want to know that, in this world of cloud, hardware is, it's important to understand what we can do in terms of our logistics. What's our reach, what's our depth, and how effective have we been. So we've been in business for 21 years. And we are very confident to say that we have pretty much shipped in every part of the world. So I want to bring on real quick Kelvin to give a little bit more detail on these slides to kind of give you the confidence of this amazing network that we already have, where we can reach any location of yours or your customers. Kelvin?
Okay, thank you, Gautam. So with the shift in the IT landscape, we noticed one of the major issues that companies were facing was the majority of employees working from home, was the shipping, logistics, and distribution. A lot of the companies are realizing that they're not equipped to physically ship equipment such as MFA hardware tokens or security keys. A question we get asked this year a lot is, do we have the capability to ship hardware security keys to each of their employees' mailing addresses worldwide? And to address this question, I'd like to go over FEITIAN's shipping, logistics, and distribution globally. Within the U.S., most small orders are shipped from our office in Santa Clara, and for large orders or custom orders, it may be shipped from one of our global networks of branches worldwide. For international orders, depending on the country, order size, and delivery speed, the orders are processed by our global network of branches, manufacturing facilities, or production management centers worldwide. Next slide, please. So I'd like to just go over the logistics flow. So when we receive new orders, we determine the best rate based on the country and the required delivery speed. And we take care of all the shipping fulfillment and provide exceptional post-purchase experience with detailed tracking. And now I'd like to send it back to Luis to cover any questions.
Thank you, Kelvin and Gautam. I will show you a brief demonstration that Ginger will talk about. Whenever you're ready, Ginger.
Yeah, so in this demo, actually Duo has a great demo site. So if you go to duo.com/demos, you can also do this. But we're going to walk you through, go ahead and start playing. In this scenario, the user or the employee is going to access their Outlook, their email, their first, and they're also going to enroll their security key. So we are typing in our primary credentials, our username and password. Now the Duo prompt comes up to say, okay, you need to enroll a security key. We insert the security key, it's being tapped, it's reading to the browser to go ahead and give and to verify the identity of the security key and pair it with Duo. You also have the options, because you can enroll more than one hardware token or security key with Duo, to go ahead and name them so that you know which key that you're using. And then once that's done, you tap the security key, to continue to log in, and then the employee is logged into Outlook. Now we're going to log out, and now that we're already enrolled with the security key, I'll show you how easy it is now. We type in our primary credentials, username and password. Duo asks us to tap the security key, and done, and you're in. So that's how easy and fast you can use FEITIAN security keys with Duo as another MFA option. And again, I'll point you to, you can go to duo.com/demo and you can try this out yourself as an experiment. And also, it's a real life, it's a test, but it's the exact real life experience you would get if you were using Duo with FEITIAN. And we do have also some resources to point you to. We do have a joint solution brief that I think the assets, there's a link there, but this will also be shared with you afterwards. And we also have blog posts with more readings, so if you want to learn more about our joint solutions and how we work together, those are great options. And if you are interested in trying Duo out, we do have a free version that you can try for 30 days. So just go to duo.com, and there's an option to sign up and try Duo for free for 30 days for up to 10 users.
All right. Thank you, Ginger. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly upload one slide here. Hold on one sec. Okay, so it's uploading now, and I think we are ready for some questions. Hold on one sec. While it is uploading, I have a question here. I think this is for Ginger. How much is Duo?
So we do have set pricing plans. We have 3 editions of Duo. We have our 3 different tiers, which I would also direct to, if you want to view them in detail, it's duo.com/pricing. But Duo starts at $3 per user per month. And that is just a flat rate regardless of how many authentications they're making and how many applications you're protecting. And it starts at $3, and the next edition is $6, and then our top tier, our Duo Beyond tier, is $9.
Oh, great. Awesome. Thank you. And I have one more question here. If I'm not already a Cisco customer, can I use Duo?
Yes. Thank you. Although Duo is part of Cisco, our products are independent, so they can be used together because we do have integrations with Cisco products such as WebEx and AnyConnect. But if you are not already using Cisco products, you can definitely use Duo separately. As I said earlier in the presentation, it's really easy to build an integration with Duo, and we do have out-of-the-box integrations already done also, depending on the applications that you need to protect. So, yes, you can be a Duo customer separately, or you can be a Cisco customer and want to use Duo also. Thank you.
Oh, great. Awesome. Okay, next question. I think this is still for Ginger. You mentioned Duo has out-of-the-box integrations we can use to protect applications with Duo. Where do I find more information about this?
The easiest thing to do there, because we do have these applications featured on our website, again, would be to go to duo.com/partners, and from there you can find all of the applications that we already have pre-built integrations with. But we also have our documentation that's available too. So if you don't see an application in there with a pre-built integration, you can go to our documentation and see how you can easily integrate Duo with whatever the applications are that you need to protect. Thank you.
Got it. Okay, one last question for Ginger. If I want to integrate Duo into my applications, how do I go about doing that?
You would first sign up for a Duo account on duo.com, which is free to sign up and try that out. And then I would point you back again to our documentation. The easiest way to build integration with us is to either use the SAML 2.0 protocol, We do have our Duo hosted SSO, so your integration would be all completely cloud hosted, and it can be done very, very quickly. I would say probably half hour, maybe. I've seen some people do it quicker. Or you can use our Web SDK. And again, we also have an API. We support older protocols like Radius and LDAP too. So there's a lot of different options there.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for providing those information, Ginger. I have one more question for this is for FEITIAN. Does FEITIAN give bulk discounts for enterprise companies?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, Calvin, feel free to chime in, but yes, absolutely. We do give bulk discounts to enterprises, and that is what we really pride in, is that one-to-one connection with our customers, because we are not looking at selling mass retail, off-the-shelf products. We're looking at understanding what the customer needs, what kind of design needs they have, what kind of form factor needs they have, what kind of security needs they have, and then we can design the right product for them, and including customization, including logos and all of that. So, depending on your volume, we can definitely, come up with a price that is affordable, is fair, and we are known in the industry for the most fair pricing, compared to anybody else. So, that's something that we are very happy to share. So yeah, you can reach out to Calvin privately or to Luis, and they'll be happy to help you out.
All right, perfect. I have one more question here, last one before we wrap up. What is the connector for the K25? He's asking about the security key that looks like a teardrop. So that's a good question. The K25 is included in our joint solution brief. The connection, the cable that is included in that security key is a USB-A cable. So I think that's it. As you can all see on the screen and on the announcement section, the links for the Duo and FEITIAN blog, joint solutions brief, URL for the Duo 30 free day trial, and the Duo and FEITIAN portal page for our limited and exclusive 20% discount for all FEITIAN keys. Also, please do not hesitate to reach out to us via email for additional questions. So before we end, is there anything else that you wish to let our audience know, Gautam, Ginger, and Calvin?
I would just thank you for giving us time today. I know there's a lot about our products, and so I only touched on at high level. So as Luis says, if you have any questions, please reach out to us, duo.com. We have our sales information there. Of course, you can try an account out for free. And definitely check out our demo site. So duo.com/demo. Play around, see how Duo works, the information that we're surfacing, and get in touch with us. We have our help button there, or contact support. We would love to talk to you. Thank you.
Wonderful. And likewise, I'll resonate the same comments. We're here for you. Anything you need, our team is here to help, support. We'd be delighted to help you and give you a VIP service. So please reach out. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It was fun doing this with you, Ginger, Gautam, and Calvin. Watch out for more collaboration in the next few months. Thank you, everyone, and stay safe.